Hello, my name is Colleen McElroy, and I am here with Channel 4's Worth Knowing program, where you learn about things that are going on around the village of Worth. This morning, I'm here with our Chief of Police, Martin Nollmeyer. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure, it's always a pleasure. We always like to hear about some things that are going on in our police department. Since we were with you last, you had instituted some new programs, and we were able to see an officer go ahead and display our new ATV. What kind of upcoming programs that do you have now that are new and upcoming?
We have obtained a grant for child safety seats. Sergeant Fernandez will be here momentarily to discuss with you and go over that. We have our crime prevention officer will be here with us also, and he'll discuss crime prevention through environmental design, security, an inspection that the police department provides to help aid in crime prevention. So we have those two we're very excited about, and they'll be with you shortly.
That's very exciting news, especially with the grant. You should be very proud of obtaining any kind of funding you can now, especially with the state of things. And I know these are very competitive. I know that recently residents received a nixle about solicitation in the village. Could you maybe offer our viewers some tips on solicitation and what they can look forward to?
Nixle is a way that we can reach out to the community. It's a computer-based notification system that we're trying to take more advantage of. We've had it for a while. We're sending out more notifications by Nixle. Specifically, spring is here, solicitors are out. The village ordinance, most importantly, our village ordinance requires that residents make a declaration, that being either no solicitors are invited or only solicitors registered in the village of Worth. Now, while all solicitors are required to be registered with the village, the ordinance also does require that the residents make a declaration. So if they don't, it sort of hampers our ability to enforce the ordinance as far as where they should or shouldn't be soliciting. So the stickers are available here at the police department. They're also available at the village hall. So I highly encourage the residents, one, to call us if you have any questions about solicitors at all. 911. We encourage the residents, especially the seniors, who get very nervous. The solicitors we don't think have any ill intentions, but there are a lot of unfortunately people and groups out there that do target the seniors. So we do provide that for them. So dial 911, get the stickers, police post them, call us, and we will address it.
Now, you say the resident has to make a declaration. Could you define that? What do you mean by making a declaration?
The stickers that are available, they're going to put on the door, by the doorbell or on the door itself, that they either telling them that no solicitors are invited or only solicitors registered in the village of Worth are welcome to come to their door. So these are the declarations that I mentioned. They're very important. If they don't, so long as a solicitor is registered with the village, there's nothing we can do if they go to a resident's home who doesn't want the solicitors. So highly encourage them to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think that will definitely clarify a lot of things, especially now with new companies coming out, a lot of electrical and gas companies. And like you said, everyone's kind of out and about now that hopefully the weather is starting to warm up. So this is something that residents should really be encouraged to come into the police department and take advantage of. You did mention that people are out and about. The weather is changing. Tell us about any of your upcoming spring training programs. I know that recently it's been Weather Awareness Month, and it's coming into tornado season. What can you tell us about preparing for bad weather?
We're updating our policy, the department policy on our emergency warning system. Part of that includes training. There's some upcoming training at Moraine Valley Community College that we're going to be sending a number of officers to. Most important part, as everyone knows, is early warning. The earlier the warning, the more effective we can be in saving people's, protecting them from injury and lives, most importantly. So part of the upgrade in our system is all the officers now have the ability to activate our emergency warning system. That would be the siren. directly from the squad. So it can be activated by the dispatch center, directly from the squad, or from the police station. Along with that, we want to provide some training to the officers, that being weather spotting. So they have an idea on what to look for when weather conditions are, if the National Weather Service does issue a warning, they can be more aware of what is immediately coming and provide that early warning that has been.
Now, when, just as an example, if they're in their car or how are they notified of the foul weather? Do they have does something special come through on a certain radio, or do they have weather radios, or how do you notify officers if it is an actual weather emergency?
All the cars do have the National Weather Service frequency in the squad cars, but our warning system, our warnings will come from our dispatch center, that being Southwest Central Dispatch. They've got a very good policy and procedure in place. They get notifications through several different agencies, or the ability to get notifications. Again, the sooner we get the warning, the more effective that these alerts are.
Now, I know there's sometimes been confusion from residents about our actual warning signal. Can you discuss maybe when the testing system, if it's on a regularly tested system, or, sometimes I know you hear it from certain towns, maybe you can explain geographically where these are located and when and why these would actually go off?
Good question. This has come up over a year ago, came up at the board when we looked into it. We talked with the contractor who installed our warning siren. The warning sirens are installed, so there's actually an overlap between communities. So while our warning system does not cover the entire community, the overlap from the surrounding towns does cover those areas where ours isn't the loudest. We identified the fact that the 294 barrier that was put up does hamper the sound, depending on wind direction, but also the barrier itself has caused a problem there. But we did see, in talking with the contractor, who does most of northern Illinois and Indiana, that looking at the overlay maps from the surrounding communities, there is overlay from the communities over ours where our effective range is known to be. So that's in place. We did find in maintenance of our siren that for 2 test cycles the siren wasn't rotating. That has been repaired and fixed. It's functioning properly. The siren is tested the first Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. This Tuesday it was tested. The siren functioned as it's intended to. So all that is working well, thankfully. Mm-hmm. That is working well. But the sirens is the first layer of warning. Like I say, we have, there's radio. We send out Code Red is another warning system that residents can sign up for and get weather alerts. The problem is those weather alerts, if they come in at 2 a.m., you're going to get it at 2 a.m.
Even if you're not actually at your house, you might be on vacation, you're still getting notification for the zip code, I believe, that you put in.
Correct. Yeah, you're going to get those notifications. And in talking with people, that is a downside to it, and some people don't want to be woken up, which is kind of odd, because if the warning is at 2 a.m., you might want to know that's coming. So that is a downside to it. You're going to get those notifications whenever they come. So, but we highly encourage signing up for Code Red. Again, early warning. Early warning is the key to protection.
Just as a historic side note, I recently came across information about the original siren that was put on the Village Hall. I don't know, do you know where that original siren came from?
I do not.
It actually came from the Ford plant. There was a resident that worked at Ford, and they were replacing all of their Ford, their alarms, and it was too loud for the neighborhood, so they actually brought it to the Village of Worth, and I believe that stayed there until the mid-'60s. So just as a little historic side note, that with the sound and now the technology on how they actually look at the overlapping of communities, it's just an interesting little tidbit.
That is very interesting. But fortunately, things are being upgraded constantly, and it's very dynamic.
Yes. Now, I know the last time we talked, we had advertised our Neighborhood Watch program. Tell us a little bit about where that program stands today.
Unfortunately, we've suspended Neighborhood Watch. It's been around here for years. In reviewing the program, we just weren't getting out to the people. We had a handful of residents who have been with us since the beginning. We greatly appreciate their support and their efforts. It's meant a lot to us. We appreciate that. They were disappointed when we told them that we were going to suspend the program. Though we've suspended that program, we're not doing nothing. We're doing some other things. We're looking to get out to the community. How can we get out to them? So I had thought about this as part of what I wanted to do is expand our walk and talk program. So I like any program, anything you build. If you're going to build a building, a factory, you're going to build a house, you're going to build a program, most important thing is the foundation. If you don't have a solid foundation, anything on top of it's not going to be too stable. So I thought about it. I met with the school superintendent. I wanted to get officers in the schools. We're not there on a regular basis. It's very, very informal. But most of the contact that young people have with the police is if mom or dad are stopped on a traffic stop, there's an enforcement action. If we're called to a residence for a request for service, whatever that might be. So I thought, how about if we meet these kids on a proactive approach, something a little more friendly. So I met with Dr. Rita, the superintendent of Worth School District 127, proposed my idea to her. Very receptive. We had met again, Deputy Chief Mark Misitich and I, who's in charge of community policing, met with Dr. Rita and the school principals. Excellent ideas, very receptive. We have started it. Depending on the school and the age of the kids, will depend on what we're doing, but we're doing anything from, Dr. Rita came up with a fantastic idea. We started out with the student body. The student council. Mm-hmm. We met with them. They walked the officers. They showed them the school, walked them through, introduced them to people. The kids were excited to show the officers their school. They're very proud of their school and what's going on there. So we started out that way. Depending on the age of the kids and what school we're at, depending on the activities that we're doing. So we're doing things like showing up at assemblies, advisory periods at the school, having lunch with the kids. It changes every meeting, and again, depending on the school, depending on the activity that we're involved with there. But the school's the school district has been very receptive to it. The guys like it. They're excited to get into school.
Is this something that every officer will have a chance to be a part of, or just certain officers designated to the program?
A number of the officers that were involved with, primarily the officers that were involved with the Neighborhood Watch program, crime prevention will be there. Child safety seat technicians will be there because these kids have, younger brothers and sisters, and we're looking to get, car seats there and stuff like that. But primarily, it came from the Neighborhood Watch, but there are other officers that will be there also.
Now, do you have any plans on expanding this program throughout the summer? Maybe, I know our park district offers a lot of programs in the park. Do you have any plans on trying to continue this as well?
Well, for our third year now, we've partnered with the Park District for National Night Out. This will be our third year that we're doing it. Every year we do it, we learn from the previous year's mistakes on how to make it better. We have an excellent partnership with the Park District that we appreciate. They do a tremendous amount of work for us. So we're looking forward to this year. We've changed it again. It will be, the entire event will be at Peaks Park. We're in the planning phases of that now, so we're excited about that. That's coming in August. Having said that, if you go to the village's website, go to the police department's page, on the left-hand column, if you look at upcoming events, we have a calendar on there. And every month you can see what's going on in the police department or what events that we're participating in, so we can get involved with the community. We have a lot of that going on this year. We're taking a pretty aggressive approach. Like I say, we unfortunately suspended Neighborhood Watch, but we're looking to get partner with the community. We've had some fantastic feedback on the things that we're doing. We're going to do a Special Olympics fundraiser with Dunkin' Donuts. That'll be coming up.
Is that the Cop on the Top, I believe is what it's called?
Cop on Top.
That's it.
The officers are they're pretty excited about that. It's the first time we're doing it, and it is a fundraiser for Special Olympics. We've had officers run in the torch run for Special Olympics and raise money, which they'll be doing again this year. So we're trying to do a lot of things with the community. Some things that we have done. There are some new programs, and we're going to expand on those.
It's all very exciting, and I know even just being out and about in the community, it's nice to see a face, especially with the police department, because oftentimes, even with children, they get such a negative impact on the police, and they're told sometimes by parents that if they don't do certain things, then they're going to call the police, so it almost instills a fear or a misnomer that the police are actually here to help you and to be a part of your community and not just be the bad guy. So I know I really appreciate this program, especially just with the involvement for the younger kids, because you really are an inspiration to many in the community. You also recently participated in the Jump Rope for Heart, and to see an officer outside of their element, jumping rope, I mean, some kids just stand there kind of surprised at first, but it really does bring such a friendly, more approachable perspective to the department as well.
The kids are seeing the officers on this after that happened, and have actually been approached by some of the students where I don't think they would have approached them before. Mm-hmm. But they saw the officers in a different light. It was very positive, and they weren't afraid to make that. They were with their parents. They weren't afraid to make that connection. Hey, you're Officer Rob, or you were just at school. So it was very positive. We're excited about the program.
Now, just finally speaking about being out and about, I know you have the ATV, and our boat launch will be open up soon. Do you know an approximate date when that will be open?
Boat launch is open. It's open. Attendance will not be there yet. They're on the weekend during the busiest days of the week. Because the season is just starting, attendance will not be there. So the envelopes are there. The fees have not changed from last year, fortunately. Boat launch is open. Safe boating.
And I believe you have a safe boating class April 12th is what I think I saw with the Coast Guard. It's a sponsored event here at the Village Hall. Do you have any details on that?
I do not have those details with me.
We can actually post a flyer for the viewers so that they can find out the upcoming information. So again, let us know, how can we contact you if we have any other questions about any upcoming programs or how to discuss any issues with officers?
To see what's going on, just go to our website. You can click on the upcoming events tab. Previous events are on there. We put photographs on there from that. The upcoming events are on there. We have a calendar. We have more things that we'll be listing to the calendar as they come together. Call us, 448-3979. Email Worth Police, or you can email the chief. Again, if you go to our website, there's an email tab there. Click on that, and you can send emails to several officers.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to talking to you towards the end of the summer.
Thanks for having me.
I'm here now with two officers from our Worth Police Department. I'm here with Sergeant Fernandez and Officer Pirtle. Hi, how are you guys today?
Good.
Good, and how are you, Officer Pirtle?
Doing great.
Great. First off, I know you're here today to talk about the grant that you received for the department, which you should all be very proud of. I know it's very difficult to find funding in these times, especially with the state of things. So thank you very much for your diligence on that. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been on the department?
I start my 10th year in 2 days, actually. I started in 2005, and I'm from Burbank, Illinois. I now live in Chicago Ridge, and I'm a sergeant with the Worth Police Department.
So you are local then. I know we've actually even seen you at our Worth Park District doing some activities. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I teach a boxing class at the Park District. I volunteer to do it on my own time. And yeah, it's good. We have a class, usually about 5 women. And it's all basic, just boxing technique, and it's all that kind of stuff.
Now, are you a boxer? Is that part of your just like a hobby, or is it just something that you enjoy?
Yeah, I do amateur boxing.
That's wonderful. And I know the women that are in the class appreciate it, so hopefully we'll see you there again soon. And being an officer, actually being a sergeant in town, I think that it helps also with community outreach. But we're here today to talk about a very good community outreach program that we're going to be starting with this Child Safety Seat program. Tell us a little bit about how you received the grant.
We applied for the grant through Safe Kids, and we actually received a $1,000 grant. It's one of 51 grants that were received by departments or organizations in Illinois, and we're going to use that $1,000 for booster seats, which we're going to pass out at an upcoming function.
So tell me about these booster seats and child safety seats. What do you think is the biggest misnomer that people have about safety seats?
I think that people try to get their kids out of the booster seats or safety seats a little too soon. And we actually have a 5-step test that I can tell you about. What you want to do to make sure your child is big enough to get out of the booster seat is make sure that their back fits flush against the back seat, and their knees bend over the seat, feet touching the ground. The shoulder belt should rest in between the shoulder and the neck area, and their head should not be moving, so they should have there's a low back booster seat or a high back. The high back booster seat actually will give your head a little resistance to prevent it from jarring.
Let me ask you, you're talking about the height of the child in the car. Is there an age that goes along with this as well, or is it generally just about the build of the child?
Every child under the age of 8 should be in a child safety seat, that be a booster seat or an infant seat, a convertible seat. Once they do turn 8, doesn't mean that they could just jump out of the booster seat. They should at least be 40 pounds, and obviously their feet should be touching, and they should be able to sit as a comfortably in a regular seat with just a